morning, afternoon, evening, depending on what time of the day it is when you watch this video. And now sadly it's not really CB related, this one, although I have got my CB on in the background on the old Murphy home base, look. And Frank, who lives in my local area, a friend of mine, he's a lorry driver, and he's talking to somebody called Mickey, who's an agricultural tyre manufacturer, something like that. There he is, look, I'm there in Rugby, which is about 20 miles from me. See you guys, I can still hear you, I don't know where you are.
Miles away. I'm in my sandpit and mixed up by the back end of Rugby.
Well, you're giving me plus 30, plus 20, plus 30, Frank, in the red patch, mate, on this very windy day. So, yep, still booming through, good and loud and proud.
Oh, it cracks out from up here.
Alright mate, I'll catch you later. I'm just about to start my little video.
Hello mate, catch you in a bit.
Bye for now. There you go. Well, that was Frank and Mickey, both mobile stations. Right, back to my video. It's going to be extremely boring, and I don't blame you if you switch off now because it's about vaping. My transition from fags to vaping. I won't get technical, it won't be a technical boring video, because as with everything, when you get into a hobby, or a habit in my case, when you get into a hobby, a habit, or something entertaining, or what makes you happy, or what you spend your money on, things can get involving and technical, intricate, complicated, and if you're an outsider looking in, sometimes can seem very daunting. So I'm pretty bored at the moment. I've got lots of anybody who's not seen any of my videos beforehand, I had a heart attack. Well, I actually had two heart attacks, one night and one the next night, which is the night I phoned the ambulance because I was in too much pain. I had a rear blocked heart valve. We won't go into all this. I'm currently going to the hospital twice a week, having a vigorous hour-and-a-half workout, which I'm not entirely happy with. That's another subject and another story, but I was a heavy smoker, and I started buying these vaping things. I used to work at a factory about 7 or 8 years ago. I was there for actually 9 years, called Elm Steel, and then it changed hands and got sold to a company called Voestalpine. Either way, and there we go, I'm at it already, the either way, so I apologise for that. I hate hearing myself say it. It's a habit, a bit like this smoking business and vaping. I started buying these. The one at the bottom, what I'm holding, for anybody who doesn't know, that's called your mod. I'm not going to get technical. It's a battery pack basically, a little bit fancy. There is fancy ones out there, what a touch screen, and this is not touch screen. It's got buttons at the bottom and a fire button at the side. You can alter your power with this one. I'm currently on 45 watts. Sorry, I'll keep my camera as steady as I can. I've just filled the tank at the top with juice. There, that's full. Don't know if you can see the level it's at, but that's full. Just to give you an insight what this video is about, and I'm not going to string it out and blabber on. I was a heavy smoker, and before I had my heart attacks, I did want to make the transition to vaping from smoking and try and cut right down, because I was a very heavy smoker. I was on 50, 60 a day, and I was running very high on stress. The wife tends to stress me out a lot. Work was stressing me out a lot. Since the Elm Steel job that I mentioned earlier, I left there about 7 or 8, well, probably 6 years ago now. I've probably had 4 jobs since then. But yeah, I've gradually wanted to make the transition, cut my fags right down and possibly go on to these, or do a mixture of the two. But I didn't. I still had to go on these occasionally, but not very often. And I was smoking fags like they were going out of fashion. Expensive thing, isn't it? Bad habit to do. Didn't drink much, very rarely drank, only on special occasions, and once a month possibly in the house I'd have something. But So yeah, the smoking was my bad habit, and according to the hospital, my downfall on my heart attacks. My cholesterol levels were quite good. I've always been an active person, not somebody who sits around watching telly all day. Always been quick on my feet, pretty agile sort of bloke. But we won't talk about that any longer. It's getting a boring subject, isn't it? So the reason I'm making this video today is because I'm fed up spending money on oils and coils. Yeah, that rhymes, doesn't it? Oils and coils. Now this tank at the top, for anybody who doesn't know anything about this, basically this is a top feeding one. You just slide that ring open there and tip your oil in there till it comes to the full mark at the top, and you're ready to get, if your batteries have got charge, which mine have like sort of 3/4 charged up, look, plenty of life in them. Two 18650 batteries, I think they're 40 amps each, or up to 40 amps. They're called 18650s because of the size, 18mm by 650 long, I believe, if I've got my facts right. But like I say, I don't want to get technical about this. It's not to confuse people or get too technical and boring. This is a simple top and bottom of the scenario, right? Now where I go to buy my oils, oil, e-liquid, e-juice, whatever you want to call it, a bottle that size, which is 50 millilitres, 70/30, that's the mixture of VG, PG. I won't go into that either. That's a topic and a video all by itself to explain those. It's got the lowest level of nicotine in, which is 3 milligrams. That bottle there, right, which is not that big, is it? And it don't come full to the brim, it comes just above this line. £17.50 that bottle is, and that will last me about 10 days. Because I do vape a lot, as I smoked a lot. Yeah, I've not seen anything yet to say vaping damages your health. Well, it can't really do you much good, can it? But compared to cigarettes, it's supposed to be a lot better. So I haven't really got a choice. And since my heart attacks and being in the ambulance and being out of hospital, I've never had a fag, and I've never wanted a fag. So this is not an anti-smoking campaign video, by the way, because I'm quite sure if I hadn't have had my heart attacks, I would still be smoking like a trooper. So I'm not running people down who smoke cigarettes, because I've done it for 40 years. So I get that thing straight. But I've got to, maybe it's the hand-to-mouth habit, inhaling. I mean, it's not smoke, it's a similar line, isn't it? It's a similar line. So somehow it's not satisfying me as much as cigarettes, I will be honest, it's not. But if you get the right flavoured juice, that does help you, and it is quite nice. So the reason for this video is, eventually I'm buying one of those every 10 days, that bottle there, about on average about every 10 days. Now that's a consumption that would be lower if I was working. I'm going to be on the sick for at least another 2 months, so I've got a lot of time and a lot of boredom. I can't get too active and do things I wish to do because I can't. I'm in my rehabilitation side of things, so I can't get too physical at the moment, and I'm getting very bored, to be honest. And there's only so much I can drive my car, and I can ride my little bike, my little moped thing, but you know, you can only put upon people and bore them stupid for so much time before they get fed up with you. So there's not that many places for me to go. So this will give me something to do. This will ease the boredom. I did a video about this lamp the wife bought me with a magnifying glass, which will come in handy for what I've got to do today. I'm not going to film what I'm doing today because it'll be like watching snails race or paint dry. But anyhow, there we go again. I apologise. I will get out my vocabulary one day. I've made a big switch over today. How successful it will be, I don't know. These coils here, now they're £3 each. That seems to be the average price. I haven't found one any cheaper than that. £3. Now, depending on it's how long is a piece of string scenario. This is a used one. It could possibly be chucked in. It could. I'm not even filming it then. Look, I'm yabbering away. It could possibly be cleaned, chucked in a glass of pure alcohol, left in there for so many hours, It's a bit dingy on the top, look there. Yes, it could possibly be cleaned and used again. It's a lengthy process. What I do when I put a new one in my tank there, this basically goes inside that silver. You can't actually see it, but when you take it all to pieces, this coil actually fits inside that tank. Now it's £3 a time, that £3 a pop, that coil, right? £3 a time. You can buy different impedance coils. Now the lower the impedance, the more juice you're going to use and the more power, so your batteries don't last quite so long either. I won't get into that. That is another video all by itself that I never intend. I'm not going to go deeply into explaining this stuff. There's millions of videos out there, but yeah, that coil's £3. So every time I buy a bottle of this oil every 10 days, I buy 2 of those coils. Now I've had coils what last me a week of the use that I give them, and I've had coils what only last 2 days before you start getting a nasty burny taste. So what I tend to do is every time I buy a bottle of oil for £17.50, I buy 2 of these coils. So there's another £6. And I'm going to possibly go through both them coils in a bottle of oil. It's about 26 quid, something around there. So I thought I'll get an RDA. I won't tell you what it stands for, and I won't go into any technical sides because it'll be boring. I want to make this as quick a video as I can. This little thing on my mod, or battery, we'll call it battery for non-vapors. This little thing is an RDA. Try and zoom into it. Now my task today, I've never built one before. I've made life easy for myself because I've bought some pre-made coils, right? People make these coils. See that little coil there? It's quite tiny. Now people make those, and they make them with different thicknesses of wire. That's Canthal. This one's Canthal, the material. They do stainless steel. They do probably 3 or 4 different types of wire you can use. The actual differences, I can't tell you, I don't know, but most coils are made with this, so I've stuck with this. And I believe it's 22 gauge, and these should be somewhere about 4 ohms impedance. So I got that whole box there. They claim to be 50, I'm not going to be sad and count them. I got that whole box of coils there, yeah, 50 coils for £3.99, so £4. £4 for 50 coils. Right, so if one of them lasts me 3 days, then what you do is you get some cotton, and then you do a process called wicking. I'm not going to film that. It's going to be my first ever attempt. Whether I do it successfully, you have to cut with a pair of scissors the right amount, and you have to thread it through the inside of a tiny hole which is 3mm in diameter, and that hole there is very tiny. There you go, it's very tiny, and basically it works like a candle. When you press the button on your battery mod box, when you press the button, it sends power, completes the circuit, heats that up till it glows red. The material, the cotton material that goes through the centre and around the edges into the well, what's called the well of your deck. Call this a deck. Try and get it to focus. All around this area is where you can tip oil in. And then you've got little air holes there, so when you, hang on, sorry about this, you've got little air holes there, look, at the side. I don't know if it's going to focus, this camera. Come on, focus boy. There's an air hole there, and there's one on the opposite side there. So basically what I've got to do is I've got to get this coil, and it's going to be fiddly because I've got big clumsy hands. I've got to cut this coil down. I've got to fit it between those 2 screws, and also put the wicking material through it, and then fill it with oil. That's the plan. Now how much I swear, I'm not going to film this because it would be a laborious thing like watching paint dry, and it's a fiddly job, and I guess the first time you ever do it, it's going to be a right pain up the bottom. So I'm not going to film any of that, but I will show you the finished product when I have managed to complete it. After how many attempts I don't know, and I've put the oil in there and it's working. I will show you. I will show you in action. Hopefully. I'll say hopefully. I did buy this kit. It's a Coil Master kit. It didn't cost much. It's not the greatest quality. How long things will last before they snap and break, I don't know. But you've got all sorts in here. You've got an ohms reader, if I can open it. 1 second. Difficult to open a zip with one hand. This cost me about 23 quid or 20 quid, something like that. You've got your ceramic tweezers, pointy nose pliers, wire cutters, a pair of scissors somewhere. Yeah, a pair of scissors under this bag. In there you've got various tools to help you make your own coils. And there's your ohms reader, which has got a battery in. So if once I've put the coil in there, I can put it onto here, turn that on, and it will tell me how many coils. It's not saying anything at the moment because there's nothing on there. So the objective of doing this, it's a bit fiddly. It's not something you'd probably do at work or when you're out and about. But making these hopefully should cost me a fortune doing my own coils, because I've got 50 for £3.99 as opposed to 1 for 3 quid. So that makes logical sense. Bit of fiddling about, but then you've got to do a bit of fiddling about to actually put the coil in your tank where your oil goes. You've got to do a bit of fiddling about. You've got to take all that to pieces, give it a bit of a clean, fit your coil in, drip juice onto it, or e-liquid, or oil as I call it. Yeah, you've got to prepare that when you put it in there before you can use it, because you don't want to be burning the wick in, you see, because you just get a horrible taste after that. So this is the plan, to save a lot of money. And then my next thing to do, which I'm sure could be dodgy, tricky, I will get into, and I won't show you the process of when I do it, but I shall buy the PG, the VG, and I'm going to start making my own oil. And I'll buy the flavourings, and I'll buy the nicotine, yeah, I'll buy that, and I'm going to start making my own oils. And then I'm sure, hopefully I'll be able to sit here and brag that an amount to make like this, 50 millilitres, which is not a great deal, that'll last me about 10 days, £17.50 from the shop. And I'm sure I'm going to be able to make the equivalent amount for probably 3 quid, or £2 I should imagine, maybe even a quid, I don't know. I will work it out when I've bought all the materials. I'm going to start making my own e-liquids. So by making my own coils, and then by in the future making my own, see, these are pre-made coils. I don't plan on doing that forever and a day. I'm actually going to buy the wire and make the coils myself. You can get something like 10 metres of wire on a reel for 3 quid. So you could probably make, I don't know, maybe 100, maybe 80 coils, 100, 150, I don't know. But it's all about saving money, and everything's so expensive. And I appreciate that these shops, they've got staff to employ, they've got the premises to hire, they've got a lot of overhead, so I'm not running the shops down. But why pay 17 quid for something if you can do it yourself for 50p, or £1.50 or 2 quid? Why buy a coil for £3 what only lasts you between one day and 7 days, when you can get one, you get a box full of things for 4 quid, when you can buy one, and they're going to, let's be honest, if I got 2 days out of every one of them, and there is 50 in there, I've got 100 days in there for 4 quid. This thing here, 1 to 7 days for 3 quid. So it all makes economical sense, doesn't it, to start doing this. And then when I'm at home, I'll use my dripper, what's called a dripper, because when you've got your coil on there and you're wicking round it, the little well at the bottom where your oil sort of goes underneath your wicking, you have so many strikes or puffs or whatever you want to call it, and then you take the lid off, which is here. That's your little chimney, that's the bit your mouth goes round and you suck on. You have so many till it starts going a bit dry. Whip the top off, get your juice bottle, drip some more on it, good to go. And all you got to do is stick your top back on. So there you go. So hopefully the next part of this video will be the finished product and me sucking on this like a good one and blowing I don't think it's called a cloud tracer, it doesn't blow big clouds out allegedly. But if all goes well, you'll either see me laughing. Luckily I won't be filming any of it, because I'm sure at some point I'm going to be swearing, especially when I drop screws on the floor and things go ping, you know, and you go, where did that go, amongst all my junk in here. So thank you for watching this, part 1, to be continued in a moment. And this moment could be anything up to about 45 minutes. It could be only 10 minutes, but I will let you know in part 2. Catch you soon. So far, this is how it's going. The first coil I put in there was a bit dodgy. Never done one before. And the wicking was a bit dodgy. Never done that before. It did heat up from the inside outwards. Had a nice glow to it, but one ring near the post didn't glow. The inner ring, not the very last outer one, but the one before the last one. I've just ripped a lot off, chucked in the bin. I've wasted about 45 minutes, I guess. But there's my coil. I'm going to strike it up with 30 watts. And then hopefully I might be able to do the wicking a bit better this time. Let's try and get this in focus. This is part 2. Right, press the button. Hang on. Now that should be going from the inside out, but it's not. That's the CB, nearly scared the life out of me. Right, do it again. It's coming from that side, isn't it, for some reason, so I'm going to have to mess about with that. Try and get it so it's glowing on the inside first. Striking up to the right. So I'll carry on and persevere and mess about, see what I can do. I don't actually know what to do to get it striking on the inside, as it were. And that impedance is 0.25. It claims on the box that there's 0.4, but obviously that depends how much you mess about with things, I would guess. I don't know. Let's do it again. Yeah, it's striking wrong. Okay, I'll have a fiddle about with that, and then when I get to the next stage and I've fiddled with that and I manage to get it glowing from the inside out, then I'll do the next stage, put the wicking in, and hopefully be more successful than I was last time. Else I can see this ending in a bit of disaster and ending up ripping the coil and the wicking out and throwing it all in the bin and being an unsuccess. It's very fiddly, I'll tell you, very fiddly when you've got big hands. You've never done it before and your eyesight's not brilliant and you're having to look for a magnifying glass, and that then sends your perspective wrong of how close things are to you when you go to do them up or fiddle about with stuff. So hopefully the next, just trimmed it. As Mickey said to me, he makes coils. I've just been speaking to Mama CB about 45 minutes ago. Trim it with a screwdriver or a pair of tweezers. So that's what I did. I remember what he said. Here we go. This is to see how it's glowing now, look. From the inside out. Very nice. Do it again. Yeah, I think that we'll call that okay. And that is, what's the impedance now? When this focuses, sorry about that. 0.25 ohms. Right you are. I've just got to wick the little devil without upsetting it too much now. Can he do it? This is the question. Can he do it? A bit of a close-up going there, look. My first, well, my second attempt. It's my first attempt really, isn't it? There you go. Right then. Part 2 gone. Next one, a bit of wicking. Thanks for looking. So this is my first shabby attempt. I don't believe that's got enough. I've put the juice in there, the coil's in there. I haven't had a go on it yet. Yes. Yes, there definitely could have been some more wicking in there. But you live and learn, and this is just the original one I've ever built, the first one. So let's give it a go, shall we? Let's press the button and see what happens. Is it going to spit everywhere? Is it going to go bang? Ooh. 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 Now the problem here is my battery's about gone on this. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have a bash. Let's see what happens. Look, where's my chimney piece? Where's my mouthpiece? Which is over there. I've got to line this up. Well, will this be a success, or will it be? What will the flavour be? Will it work correctly? Well, let's line these holes up. I don't want to say Houston, we have a problem. I can't even get this on with one hand very well. Let's wedge it between my knees. Oh, I can't do that either. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Trying to get. Is that on? No. That is. All right, we've got the air hole. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Here it comes. We're vaping at 30 watts now. I'm sure it should be probably more than that. and our impedance claims, I can't see very well because I've been looking at blooming magnifying, 0.32. Right, let's give it a go. Hope you don't go bang in my face. I'll tell you what, let's turn the power up, pump up the volume, give it a bit more power. Let's try it at 40. We'll start at 40. There you go, 40 watts. What as we say in CB terms, 40 whiskies. Right, let's have a go. There it goes. See if there's a cloud comes out. I'll let you be the judge, people. Oh, I won't let you see my ugly face, it'll put you off your dinner. Hang on. Well, it is working. I don't like this juice I'm using, mind you, I must admit that. And no doubt shortly it'll probably need some dripping in there. So, my first build, not fantastically successful. It is warming up, the coil is from the inside out, as it should do, but I didn't put enough wicking in. But don't you worry, before the night's out, I've got about another 48 coils and a bit of wicking left, so I'll do a Mark II version. But this one's working, I'll have a go on it for now. Here we go. Well, and thanks for watching this tedious, non-related CB video. Rip that off. I'll put some more stuff in it. Put some more e-juice, as I'll call it, oil. Alright, my battery's about to go on this, which is just fell in time, hasn't it? Drip some on there, look. Plenty in there. I'll have a go on it in a minute. Right, thanks for watching all. You take care. Catch you soon.